Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 10-minute warning to please find your seats for the commencement of plenary session. Thank you. In just 5 minutes, it's showtime. Grab your coffee and head to Hall A to get settled before we officially get started. Attendees, please give a warm welcome to MC Shauna Foster as she makes her way to the stage.
Now everybody is rushing in. Can you hear me okay? There we go. Hurry on, come in. I'll give everyone a couple of minutes just to get settled. Nobody wants to sit in the very front. I am disappointed. I was going to call you up and play some games. Well, a big good morning to everyone here. It is so nice to see familiar faces. I am beyond thrilled to be your SUMA convention host, and we get to spend the next few days together. So thank you for attending and for being on time. Now, there will be some rules to come. Don't get mad at me. I am Shauna Foster, and I am a morning show host here in Regina, and some of you closer to Saskatoon, you'll have also heard me in Saskatoon for quite a few years. I've been with Rolco Radio for 28 years. Yes, I started when I was 12. We go with that. Everyone knows we go with that. C95 in Saskatoon and here in Regina, Z99. In fact, I just wrapped up the morning show. I went and did the morning show with the guys this morning, came over here, and I'll do the same for the next few days. So it's definitely a busy week and one that I have really been looking forward to. I also do some co-hosting on our sister stations, 650 CKOM in Saskatoon and 980 CJME in Regina, and some other hosting across Canada. And like I said, this is the event that I have been so excited about. First time ever hosting SUMA, so thank you again for having me. We have some very, very exciting days ahead. If you look ahead in your program, I know that you'll agree with me. I hope that you will feel inspired to participate, to listen, to be respectful. Basically, bottom line, please don't boo me. Don't boo me, don't yell at me, and don't scold me. I had this amazing opportunity a few years ago to introduce Oprah Winfrey. We got to spend the entire day together, a whole day with Oprah. I mean, talk about a dream come true. But the first thing she did when she saw me and met me was threaten to call my mom. I was 35 years old, and she threatened to call my mom because she looked at me up and down a couple of times, and she said, "There's still snow on the ground." It was this exact time of year. "There's still snow on the ground, and look at what you're wearing. You're gonna freeze your butt off, little girl." She said, "Where's your mom? I'm giving her a call." And my mom was actually going to be in the audience that night, and she threw a shout out to my mom, which was pretty special. So if you're gonna get in trouble from anyone, at least I got in trouble from Oprah. But always listen to Oprah, and I just ask that you don't yell, boo, and make a nuisance for all of these amazing speakers that we have coming up. Over the next 3 days, we are going to be hearing some big, bold ideas, leadership. We're going to feel the impact of community, which is just oh so important. And it'll be one conversation at a time, conversations that I hope that you will feel like you need to and want to be a part of. This is our province's future as we continue to get stronger here in Saskatchewan. So thank you again, as everyone makes their way in, for having me as your MC. I'm gonna move over to the podium because there are some, I don't wanna call them rules, just some pointers for the next few days. Everyone making their way in. And as we gather here for this wonderful convention in Regina, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 4 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this territory. As I mentioned, we do have some housekeeping notes, so bear with me as we make our way through. We would like to encourage everyone to check the map section on the SUMA Convention app for all of the floor plans, the fire exits, the AED locations. We want all delegates to feel safe here over the next few days, and be sure to take a few minutes just to review quickly that information. If you haven't downloaded the SUMA Convention app, encourage you all to do so. And then you have everything you need to know about where these next few days will be headed. You have your convention at your fingertips, essentially, and the app is available for download in both Apple and Google App Stores. Just search for SUMA Convention, and it will be there. SUMA is once again using Memory KPR to share photos. So to make this easier, they've added a link directly to the app. So you're encouraged to snap away, take lots of photos, take lots of videos, and share your experience here at SUMA and over the course of the convention. There's going to be some great moments that you'll want to keep. There will be a QR code on the PowerPoint here as well in the theater that takes you directly to Convention 2026, and then you can see what others have posted as well and share in that. SUMA has a number of amazing sponsors who help make conventions like these possible through their generous contributions. The sponsors are listed in the SUMA Convention app and on the sponsor cards that you will have at your tables over the course of the lunch. You can say thank you by supporting these amazing businesses. Some of the sponsors have booths in the trade show, so stop by and say hi and shake their hands and thank them for being here and for making this event possible. There is free Wi-Fi. It is available to connect, select SUMA Delegate on your wireless network and enter the password Convention 2026 ! And that should get your Wi-Fi all set up. There is also a cell phone charging station in the ITC if you need to get that battery all up and charged. Now, we would also like to remind you, see, this is where my rules come in, I get to play teacher, that we would like you to give respect when we have people on stage speaking. So cell phones best to be set, starting now, to vibrate or silent, and any calls and conversations that must be had, please go and take them in the hall. In lieu of speaker honorariums, SUMA will be donating this year's Impact Initiative recipient, St. John's Ambulance. If you would like to learn more about the SUMA Impact Initiative or donate directly to St. John's Ambulance, they will be set up in the lobby all day today. You can go and say hi. If you prefer to donate electronically, keep an eye on the screens throughout the convention for a QR code, or you can visit the SUMA Convention app. Click on the 3 lines at the top corner, the left corner, scroll to the bottom, and select Donate to St. John Ambulance. Donations are not necessary, but of course they are appreciated. Now, this is also special. Throughout the day today, St. John will be offering practical, accessible training in both CPR and nasal naloxone administration. You will learn how to recognize a medical emergency if one were to come up, perform CPR on a training mannequin, and administer nasal naloxone to reverse an opioid overdose. These skills are oh so important. They are simple, they're highly relevant, and they empower municipal leaders to support their own communities in this safe way and have that emergency preparedness and readiness. Training will be guided by certified St. John Ambulance instructors, so we encourage you to take a few minutes and take part in that. We will rise for the entrance of dignitaries and the SUMA Board of Directors, followed by Her Honor, the Honorable Bernadette McIntyre, and His Honor, Rich McIntyre, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan. Following the entrance, please remain standing for the Vice-Regal Salute. Now, the salute includes portions of God Save the King and O Canada. Please note the salute is played, but it is not sung. Following the Vice-Regal Salute, I will ask you to join in the singing of the national anthem performed by Tegan Little Chief, and trust me, we are in for a treat. She is amazing. So at this time, please rise. Now, please join me in the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, nigana nitasina, true patriot love in all of us common. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true, north, strong and free. Donne sois tu épopée de plus brillants exploits, Notawinan, Canoeita. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Amazing. Tegan Little Sheep. That was wonderful. Everyone can be seated. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to invite forward traditional knowledge keeper Lyndon Linklater, who will lead us through a prayer. And if everyone could rise again, thank you.
Good morning. I didn't want you to stand, actually. So sit down. Yeah. I thank you for the tobacco that's offered to me. In our culture, there's many, we call them teachings, stories, depending on which nation we are from. And we, as you know, are right across North America, different nations. So, we are in Treaty 4 territory. I want to acknowledge the Anishinaabe people. In English, they're known as the Soto. I also want to acknowledge the Dakota people as well, who are, traditionally in these parts of where we are right now. There's also many, many other nations that live in urban centers and rural municipalities now. It's not uncommon to meet someone who is a Mohawk or a Huron or an Ojibwe or a Blackfoot. You see, you got all these different nations. And we all have different teachings and understandings. So the tobacco that's offered to me is a very old tradition. And you offer it to someone to offer a prayer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer a prayer. In our culture, we typically remain seated when we pray. Yeah, we have our ceremonial lodges. One of them is called a sweat lodge. And you don't want to stand in there, it's hot. So we remain seated, you see it. So we'll remain seated and I'll offer a prayer. But I just want to thank Suma for asking me to come in to offer this prayer. I want to acknowledge all of you in the audience as well as leaders for the communities that you come from. You are mayors, you are leaders from, wherever you come from. And people come to you for help and assistance. And there's no place like home as we know it. There's no place like home. So you are here representing your homes. And I want to acknowledge all of you for the wonderful work that you do. So with that, I want to offer a prayer in the language, my mother's language, which is Nehiawewin, our Plains Cree. And basically, I'm just going to ask for blessings for all of us, for good health, for good things to come from your deliberations at your conference here, for good results to come, to have good health for our loved ones and our families, and to pray for what is going on in the world right now, for things to get better. That's what I'm going to say in the language. So you just remain seated. And again, thank you for the tobacco. So with that, okay, thank you so much. I was going to pray for the Edmonton Oilers, but I don't have enough time. So thank you so much.
I was going to say it's the Winnipeg Jets. I think they need some prayer. The Oilers, they're good. They're good right now. For now. Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to welcome Her Honor, the Honorable Bernadette McIntyre, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, to offer some remarks.
Thank you, Shauna. To the very distinguished platform party, to all our distinguished guests and friends, good morning, everyone. Bonjour, Tonsei. My husband Rich and I are pleased to join you this morning here in Treaty 4 territory and home of the Métis for the opening of SUMA 2026. As our monarch's representative in Saskatchewan, it is my privilege to bring you greetings on behalf of His Majesty King Charles III, King of Canada. Thank you to Tegan Little Chief for leading us in the singing of O Canada. That was beautiful, as always. And thank you to Lyndon Linklater, our knowledge keeper, for your blessing and for starting us in a good way. Lyndon did a smudge for my husband and I and was part of our installation as Lieutenant Governor. So it's always great to have Lyndon with us. I would like to thank the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association Board of Directors and staff for the extensive preparations, care, and attention that went into producing this convention and trade show. The organizers have done an excellent job again this year, putting together a full schedule covering a wide range of informative topics. This annual convention also offers tremendous networking opportunities amongst numerous registrants who represent diverse communities throughout our province. Success in many areas of life, including business and governance, is highly dependent on relationship building. I applaud municipal representatives who work to build bridges with their colleagues in other municipalities and who work towards achieving common goals. I'd like to say thank you to the mayors and councils for their willingness to step up and take on these challenging roles in support of Saskatchewan's urban communities. Leadership is never easy. While you handle urgent issues, the pressures to deal with long-term projects and concerns do not go away. In these unpredictable times, leaders need to be both flexible and determined. The dedicated city managers and staff who support those elected to lead our urban municipalities deserve recognition as well for all your contributions. You have challenging positions that require patience and vision. I offer my best wishes for a productive and enjoyable convention and trade show to all 2026 participants. And I thank you for your leadership and willingness to serve, which helps to ensure the well-being of our communities and our province. One great example of this is your president, Randy Golden. Randy is a councillor from Yorkton who I have known for many years. She and I served on the Active Saskatchewan board together, and she was an engaged, informed, and community-minded member of the board. Her example restored my faith in politicians. Randy is a lifelong community builder whose volunteer leadership has strengthened organizations across Yorkton, Saskatchewan, and Canada. She has held a wide range of roles, including Director of the Yorkton Mental Health Centre, Chair of the Yorkton Active Living Committee, President of both the Canadian Parks and Recreation Association and the Saskatchewan Parks and Recreation Association, and Board Trustee for the Community Initiatives Fund. As Chair of the Society for the Involvement of Good Neighbours and organizer of major community events, Randy has consistently enhanced lives of her fellow citizens. In addition, Randy was the chair of the royal visit to Yorkton and area for Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, Princess Anne. Randy's volunteerism reflects a deep commitment to fostering the healthy, vibrant, and inclusive communities. In recognition of her decades of extraordinary volunteer work, which has been of great benefit to her city and our province, Randy Golden is to be presented with the Saskatchewan Volunteer Medal, one of the most prestigious honors awarded in this province. Randy will be in Ottawa on Summa Business when we have the full ceremony later this month. So I am thrilled to be here and be able to bestow this honor today. Now I am delighted to invite Randy Golden to come forward to receive the Saskatchewan Volunteer Medal.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our Board of Directors, of all of our urban municipalities across this province, it is my honor to thank Her Honor and His Honor for being with us today and bringing greetings from the Crown, and also to thank her and share our appreciation for all the engagements that we've had across the province that she has been to in all our urban communities. So thank you very much, Your Honor. It is our pleasure to host you here today.
Congratulations to Randy. At this time, I would like to welcome Liberal MP Buckley Belanger to bring greetings on behalf of the federal government.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for your kind introduction, for the prayer, and Her Honor, His Honor, and of course, President Golden. There's no question that when I first met President Golden many, many years ago, I knew that she was a keeper and that Saskatchewan will be well served by her. And again, I congratulate you on your award. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for your kind invitation to join Summa at this very, very important time in Canada. As I mentioned, bon matin tout le monde, je practice mon français, donc je vais vous faire une petite introduction en français aujourd'hui. Mon nom est Buckley Belanger, je suis le secrétaire d'État pour le développement rural. Je suis très content d'être parmi vous. It is really, really good to be with you all here today. And as I mentioned, the kind invite from your president really was important to me. And our histories go back, and I really wanted to be here with Summa today, so we took a few days off work from Ottawa to be here to celebrate what Summa does. You're the ones that are fixing the roads, keeping the water running, making sure communities are safe, and figuring out how to stretch every single dollar just a little bit further. So I want to start with a simple message. We see that. And we, provincial and federal governments, can always do a better job of working with you and for you. One thing I've heard consistently, whether it's in northern Saskatchewan, southern Saskatchewan, or anywhere in between, it's this, that municipalities need a stronger voice at the table. Not just when decisions are already made, but earlier. When priorities are being set, when we're figuring out what exactly works on the ground, we need your prior input. From my perspective as Secretary of State for Rural Development, my job is pretty much straightforward. Listening to Randy and doing everything she asks for. But it's important to bring those local, rural Saskatchewan realities into the cabinet room in Ottawa. I know municipalities are certainly influential in my file. As some of you may not know, I served as mayor of my home community of Isle La Crosse many years ago, and most recently. Now, it wasn't hard work or visionary, the visionary ability that some leaders have that I won. I had a bigger family than the other candidates. But I certainly have the experience. I have the experience of being mayor of a small northern town, and I relate to some of the challenges that you have. I've been hearing some of the perspectives since day one, sitting down with folks in my new role to build a new federal rural development action plan. But that only works if we're listening and if we're also building a better partnership between the federal, provincial, and municipal governments. Not three separate conversations, one conversation. That's how we build what we've been calling a one Canadian economy, and that has to include, and I stress, that has to include municipalities from the start. Now, I also want to talk to you about something I know is on top of mind for many of you, and that is community safety. We all have those challenges in every one of our community. And policing is a real challenge right now. I've heard it directly from mayors, chiefs, and community leaders across Saskatchewan and across Canada. There are gaps in officer staffing. Recruitment is tough. Retention is tough. And in many places, especially rural and northern communities, RCMP are asked to do more with less. And that's one of the reasons I want to give a shout out to the men and women who keep our communities safe. And sometimes the pressure is great. But we as leaders, municipal, provincial, and federal, need to take more time to appreciate their efforts and bridge the gaps that sometimes exist between our policing force and many other organizations throughout our province. But when we are in trouble, who do we phone? We phone the police. So I think we have to really make every effort as municipal leaders and provincial and federal leaders to recognize their challenges in building a strong force. And that starts always with a note of respect. And I want to do that at this time. So let's be clear about one thing. We need to support our police, and that means working with the RCMP to address recruitment challenges and really start the collaboration between all orders of government to make sure we utilize the men and women in uniform to help our communities feel safe. Our government has introduced legislation that will tighten bail and see tighter sentencing for violent repeat offenders. They do not belong to be safe or out on our streets. So I reiterate again that we will see tighter sentencing for violent repeat offenders. This is so important because if people don't feel safe, It's hard to build anything else, whether it's housing, economic growth, community life. It's foundational to all of our communities. My cabinet colleague, the Minister of Public Safety, Gary Anandasangri, is paying very close attention to this issue. We have to make sure we get it right. Now let's talk about opportunity, because Saskatchewan has a lot of it. And I don't think that we as a province say it enough. We should celebrate who we are and what we offer the rest of Canada. When we talk about safe communities, we also talk about building a stronger Canada, a more resilient economy. And as I've mentioned time and time again, Saskatchewan is right at the center of that conversation. We have world-class agriculture feeding not just this country, but the world. We've got critical minerals that are going to power the industries of the future. You've got hardworking and innovative people who know how to get things done. And that's what is building the one a Canadian economy would look like. It has never been more important now to be a united country. And our job at the federal level is to make sure that we are removing trade barriers, making smart investments, and backing you up so that you can do what you do best, and that is creating jobs and opportunity, not just for Saskatchewan, but for Canada. Which brings me to the reason I'm especially glad to be here this morning. Because if we are serious about growth, if we're serious about housing, about economic development, and about building strong communities, then we need to get the basics right. Water, wastewater, stormwater, the infrastructure most people don't see. But as you all know in this room, everything else depends on a system that we speak of. You can't build homes without it, and you can't attract investment without it. So today I'm proud to announce the federal support for 3 important infrastructure projects right here in Saskatchewan through the Canada Housing Infrastructure Fund. Together, these projects represent a total federal investment of over $14 million. First, in Moose Jaw, we're supporting the Spring Creek Stormwater Management Project so the city can manage growth, reduce flood risk, and support development in a smart, sustainable way. In Saskatoon, we're investing in the program development at the Material Recovery Center to modernize how the city handles waste and recycling. And third, here in Regina, we're supporting water, wastewater, and stormwater infrastructure for the Taylor Field redevelopment. Now, these may not always look like the flashiest projects, but as you all know, they matter. This is the kind of foundational investment that unlocks opportunities for all communities. And that's exactly what these investments are about, getting the basics right so communities can grow with confidence. I'll wrap up with this. Ladies and gentlemen, across Saskatchewan, there are no shortages of good ideas. What we need, and what I'm committed to, is making sure governments are working together to support those ideas, not getting in the way of them. And a clear recognition that Saskatchewan counts, that Saskatchewan is in, and that Saskatchewan has a major role to play in building a stronger, more self-reliant Canada. That's the work ahead of us, and I assure you that I'm looking forward to not only working with you, but seeking your advice, seeking your support, and more so, your concepts as what could work for Saskatchewan for many, many years. So I close on this final point. Let's stay united, and let's show everyone what Saskatchewan can do. And in northern Saskatchewan, finally, our municipal structure is back in action. New North is coming back stronger and better than ever. And I want to commend that municipal organization for finally getting back on their feet and to provide a lot of support to the northern Saskatchewan communities that are here today. So again, thank you so very much, and I hope you all have a great convention. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so very much. At this time, I would like to welcome Conservative MP Jeremy Patzer to bring greetings on behalf of the Conservative Party of Canada Saskatchewan Caucus.
Well, thank you very much. It's always an honor and a privilege to be able to join you guys here today. I was telling Mayor Baczynski on the way in that this place feels like my second home. My kids play a lot of youth sports here. I've been here 4 or 5 different times for volleyball. My daughter's been playing hockey over at the hockey rinks over there. I spend an awful lot of time and a lot of money here in this city. So this feels like a second home for me. I had the opportunity to drive up this morning, and when I left Swift Current, I went through the McDonald's drive-thru to grab myself a coffee. And the lady working at the window, she looks in the truck and she says, "Sir, are you a police officer?" I said, "Unfortunately, no, I'm not. I'm a politician." And she says, "Oh, well, I was going to offer you your coffee for free, but now you're going to have to pay double." But anyway, so it's good morning to drive into Regina. Thank you very much to the folks at SUMA for inviting me to join you here today. It's always, like I said, an honor and a privilege to be able to do so. I just want to talk about a couple key important points, and the reason why I started with a story from this morning too is, and much like Minister or Secretary of State Belanger said, policing, that is a very, very big issue for a lot of folks in this room. I've had great conversations with folks from SUMA, from local mayors in the riding that I represent, also with the folks at SARM. I see they are here today as well. Policing is very much top of mind. The federal government is committed to hiring 1,000 new frontline officers, and that is something that we are working to hold the government accountable to, because we do agree with them on that is something that is extremely important for the folks here in Saskatchewan. Not to mention that here in Regina, you are home to Depot, and that's something that this community is very proud of, the strong heritage, but also the service that it provides to all of the member communities of SUMA. And the second point that I wanted to really emphasize here today was infrastructure. Now that, again, is something that is very top of mind for each and every one of you. I represent no less than 130 communities of all different sizes in my riding, and every single community to a T has the same concerns, and that is aging and crumbling infrastructure that was all built at roughly the same time, and it just so happens to also be failing at the same time. And we do know that municipalities, whether you are a rural municipality or if you are an urban community, you do not have the ability to run a deficit budget. And that makes it very difficult for you to be able to keep the key infrastructure that you need to keep your community strong and viable operating, and also to be able to project any future growth. We know that housing is another big concern for each and every one. I had a housing roundtable a couple summers ago in Swift Current, and the number one issue that came up was before anybody could build a house, they needed the infrastructure behind it and able to build those houses, to be able to welcome new people to their communities. And looking at future growth in this province, we are set to capitalize on so many different options. As Mr. Belanger said, we're blessed with a strong agricultural province. We possess so many natural resources. We develop some of them, not all of them, but that is where the opportunity does lie. We are blessed with one of the greatest abundance of fresh water as well, and that is another project that we are pushing for and wanting to see the capitalization of is the irrigation potential. Now that is something that when you look at southern Alberta, for example, just the sugar industry alone employs over 2,000 people and is able to do a lot. So it's not just a couple farmers that would benefit from a great project like that, it's the supply chains that come along with it and would benefit these communities. That's another just an example of one terrific project that has been promised in both of our election campaigns over the years, and we want to see that move forward. And that would allow us to capitalize on that. But many of the communities that would benefit from that are the very communities that need the investment in infrastructure to be able to support the workforce, but also the expansion of business behind it. And that's why we're calling on the government to make sure that infrastructure dollars are available to everybody, that there is no ideological check boxes that are going to add extra red tape and costs to your projects. You know what you need, And so you should be able to build that. It should be simple, it should be straightforward, and you guys know best what you guys need, and that funding should be available to you to apply for on an as-needed basis. So I just again want to say thank you to SUMA for inviting me here. It's an honor to be able to join you here today, and I look forward to having more conversations with many of you around the room here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to bring a warm welcome to Regina's Mayor, Chad Baczynski, who is bringing greetings on behalf of our host city.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Regina, your host city for the next few days, your home away from home. It's truly a pleasure to stand here and help kick off this year's SUMA Convention. First, let me tell you how thrilled I am to have you all here. I know we all feel the commitment, the passion, and let's be honest, the shared exhaustion that comes from trying to stretch every dollar, fix every pothole, and answer every call. And I often refer to us as the complaint department. Municipal governance is where the rubber really does meet the road, quite literally. We are the level of government closest to the people, and we feel every challenge directly. Infrastructure pressures, housing needs, public safety, economic uncertainty, and the ongoing expectation that we can do more with less, and then a little bit more after that. But despite these challenges, we continue to show resilience, creativity, and a deep sense of responsibilities to our community. That's why SUMA's work matters so much. Year after year, SUMA advocates for our municipalities, large, small, urban, rural, and everything in between. They bring our collective voice to the provincial table, advocating for fair funding, stronger legislation, and the tools we need to build thriving communities. Their advocacy ensures that the concerns of Saskatchewan's towns, villages, cities, and northern communities aren't just heard, but they're understood. And for that, we owe SUMA our sincere thanks. And I especially want to give a shout out to President Randy Goulin, and congratulations, as well as our CEO, Jean-Marc Nadeau. I saw him over there. While you're here in Regina, I hope you take some time to enjoy what our city has to offer. Explore Wascana Center, one of the largest urban parks in North America, even bigger than New York's Central Park, and that's a fact. Take in the RCMP Heritage Center, where the story of the Canadian Mounties comes to life. And of course, enjoy our local restaurants, craft breweries, and shops. Head downtown or along Dudney Avenue for some nightlife. Our hospitality is as warm as our winters are, and I think our winters are done, so I think we're good for this week. In all seriousness, we are honored to host you, and we hope this convention gives you the inspiration, the tools, and connections that you need to continue the incredible work that you do back home. Because when Saskatchewan's municipalities succeed, our whole province succeeds. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you do. And on behalf of the City of Regina, I wish you a productive convention with meaningful conversations and tangible takeaways. I look forward to meeting and speaking with many of you today and throughout the convention. Welcome to Regina. Enjoy your time in our city and have a wonderful convention. Thank you.
I'm not sure if Mayor Baczynski looked at the forecast this morning. Snow on Thursday? Nah, it's not going to happen. It can't happen. We are past that. The opening ceremony is kindly sponsored by SUMA Sure, and thank you so much to SUMA Sure for their sponsorship and for being here today and over the next few days. I would like to welcome SUMA Share Chair and Mayor of the City of Melfort, Glenn George, who's bringing greetings on behalf of SUMA Sure.
Good morning. It's great to see so many municipal leaders here. Thank you to you for all that you do for your communities every day. And thank you, SUMA, for the opportunity to welcome you today on behalf of SUMA Sure. SUMA Sure is your trusted insurance and risk solution partner, providing specialized municipal expertise and support in managing risk, practically through municipal property and liability insurance. We're proud to serve Saskatchewan urban municipalities, and we're proud to be a program built for municipalities, guided by municipalities, and focused on what you face every day. With 260 members and growing, we understand the unique risks our communities face. Whether the risk involves community facilities, public works operations, or events and programming, the expectations of municipal governments are increasing. That is why we provide more than insurance coverage. We offer practical resources and protective risk solutions intended to reduce incidents, limit losses, and protect your services for your residents. We see this as a partnership. Yes, we're here when something goes wrong, but we're also here to help prevent issues before they become claims and help keep your community protected. That partnership is strengthened through engagement with municipal leaders and learning from your experiences. Over the next 2 days, I invite you to stop by SumaSure booth to meet our team. Share your experiences, ask questions, and learn more about the resources available to you. Lastly, please join us today at 2 p.m. in the Queensbury Convention Centre Ballroom A to learn and ask questions of our panelists on the topic of fair and lawful employment practices. Thank you again for your service and your leadership in your community. Wishing you a great week of education, networking, and collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Glenn. At this time, we can excuse our Lieutenant Governor party and our special guests if you would like at some point in the next few minutes to take the reserved seating in the front. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call on FCM First Vice President Tim Tierney, Councillor for the City of Ottawa, to bring greetings on behalf of FCM. The relationship between SUMA and FCM is a unique one in that FCM is able to amplify the voice of Saskatchewan beyond our province, and SUMA is able to inject prairie priorities into these federal issues. Having Councillor Blythe travel all the way to Saskatoon to deliver this address proves the importance of this alliance and partnership. Delegates, please welcome Councillor Tierney to the stage to bring some words.
Great. Bonjour à tous et tous. And first of all, Deputy Bélanger, c'est français, c'est très, très bien. The chef's kiss. Very good French, by the way, Mr. Buckley. First of all, what planet are we living on when we're in a room? And I've been changing my notes as we go here, by the way, where we get these announcements and we're all cheering because we're excited as municipalities, not for a new sexy convention center or a beautiful building. We're excited when we hear things like Regina getting wastewater, Saskatoon getting waste management, Moose Jaw getting housing infrastructure. That speaks to how important these items are for our municipalities. Also, I want to give a special thanks to Randy Golden. Randy is an amazing friend, and it speaks volumes about why she's won this amazing award. She's not even staying in town to receive it. She's continuing her volunteerism and coming to Ottawa. Randy, I'll take you out to dinner, a nice steak dinner while you're in Ottawa, joining me there. Thank you for everything you do. I also want to thank Gerald Albers, Bill Huber, Zach Jeffries, Sarah McInnes, and of course, we have Darren Stanley. They keep me in line about what Saskatchewan's priorities definitely are. They tell me loud and clear. And I'm very happy to be in. I'll be very frank with you, and Cass is here from FCM with me. We find this place so friendly. Every time I come here, you can't get near a curb because cars stop and people let you drive through. That doesn't happen everywhere across the country, by the way. But this year, you've invited me back to the SUMA convention yet again. I don't know why, but I am liking what I'm hearing from a lot of the people that have spoken here already today. I think collectively our voices, and we've heard this time and again, we do better when we work together, all levels of government. Obviously, when it comes to things like our economic resilience and national defense, keeping international trade moving, these are very critical items to all of us in this room. Every product that is built, that is shipped, requires roads, infrastructure, and services, and that's why your farms, your mines, your businesses that span Saskatchewan contribute to our national prosperity. They're going to save us during this entire world-changing events that are taking place. And it's about keeping Canada open for business. With that firmly in mind, with our recent conversations with federal ministers, we've been focusing on what matters most. Renewing aging municipal infrastructure, strengthening the economic resilience, and of course we heard today, protecting public safety, and yes, that means bail reform. These priorities are vital because as municipalities step up to the plate for our national economic prosperity, we're being asked to do more and more. And, of course, including here in Saskatchewan, rural communities are a fundamental source of the future, through food, through energy, through resources, and that's going to help us drive growth, resiliency, and our national prosperity during these difficult times. On behalf of FCM, I want to congratulate Saskatchewan's municipalities on the approval of the new mines in northern Saskatchewan. This is an exciting step forward. These projects will create real momentum and jobs across the industries, good jobs, driving the Canadian economy forward. Where uranium, precious metals, and potash, we're standing here right in the middle of what is going to be one of the stronger aspects of this entire Canadian geography. In recent weeks, the federal government has been rolling out the Build Community Strong Fund. With this new program, the federal government recognizes that the local infrastructure is very valuable. You can't just build a home, you need the infrastructure to make that happen. And it's never been truer. Municipal infrastructure in Canada's economic backbone is the foundation of growth for trade as well as housing. So let me be crystal clear. The Build Community Strong Fund will allow shovel-ready projects to move ahead within this construction season. But we need a long-term solution to solve the infrastructure gap. That's why we're calling for at least the doubling and the pegging to GDP, the fastest and most effective part of funding, the community stream. It was previously called the Canada Community Building Fund, and what we can't call it anymore, but used to be the gas tax. Yes, FCM did that. We brought that, a stable line item that we know about year after year. The fund has delivered everything from municipal pumping stations in Prince Albert to resurfacing on main streets in Merrifield, Saskatchewan, to infrastructure, to businesses, to communities that are crying out for it. Additionally, we're calling for specific rural infrastructure stream included in the upcoming spring economic update so that our rural communities who do so much to contribute can maintain safe transit, road infrastructure, and despite their low tax base, will have an opportunity to thrive. Now, I was in Ontario at the Good Roads Conference, very similar to a conference like this. And while we were hearing about the great money that was going to come from the federal government, we were very excited. And then we went, oh, okay, what about people that don't have a lot of development charges? How's that going to work? And FCM immediately got to work. And that's why we're listening to you on what we need to see happen, which is a special rural infrastructure stream. That being said, obviously bail reform, something that we've worked very heavily on with FCM. I was standing here last year talking about it, and we see the federal government moving in that direction. We're very happy about this. And of course, the drawback on Chinese tariffs on canola, very important to this environment. And just last month at our board meeting in St. John's, FCM passed a resolution recommending payments for those affected by the canola tariffs. And we're preparing for, as things emerge over time, things keep changing daily, weekly, but you got the FCM staff, you got the FCM board that are on top of it, and united we can do a lot more. Again, we don't care about the bluster at the municipal level. We'll let the federal people, we'll let the American politicians do all the bluster. We're focused on getting the job done. And that's why this trade show that's going to take place in Edmonton this year, first week of June, I hope everyone joins me. It's going to be a great time. It's called the Building the Future Together Convention. Because that's what we have to do. We have to depend on each other as Canadians across the country, from coast to coast to coast, to be able to depend on ourselves and build up ourselves. So that wraps it up for me. And I look forward to connecting with many of you. I already have, but to have yourselves a great convention. Grand merci. Have a great day.
Thank you, Councillor Tierney. I would like to call to the stage now WSP representatives Martin Lacroix and Saskatchewan market leader and Cheryl Trent, Executive Director, Data Services, on stage for a presentation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cheryl Trent. I'm the Executive Director of Data Services at WSP in Canada, and I'm also the Global Location Intelligence Lead. My background is in GIS, data analytics, and AI, and prior to joining WSP, I served 25 years in the municipal sector.
Hey everyone, I'm Martin Lacroix, and I'm the Saskatchewan market leader. I'm a professional geoscientist and have over 30 years of experience in both research and consulting. I'm based in Saskatoon. WSP is one of the world's leading professional services firms, uniting our engineering, advisory, and science-based expertise to make a positive impact. We envision future possibilities and bring them to life through technical know-how and innovation. Currently, we have about 250 staff in Saskatchewan and almost 13,000 in Canada, with over 83,000 employees worldwide. WSP takes pride in being a Canadian company with our headquarters located in Montreal. Our expertise spans multiple sectors, and our teams are shaping the future communities around the world. We work with over 800 municipalities nationally, representing 3/4 of the Canadian population. We provide streamlined solutions to complex challenges. We go from the art of the possible to making the possible happen. We advise, design, and execute, and provide several value propositions in our municipal package. Today, we would like to take a few minutes to share how Saskatchewan's municipalities can leverage our engineering expertise and cutting-edge digital tools to strengthen their communities.
We understand that Saskatchewan's municipalities are facing unprecedented challenges: aging infrastructure, climate extremes, tight budgets, shifting community priorities and expectations, and heightened scrutiny. That's why we have developed smart digital solutions to help us build communities that can handle whatever comes their way. Imagine a future where asset management gets a makeover, so we spend less time fixing things and more time planning ahead. Permitting approvals are fast, driving more housing starts. Weather forecasts and predictions are integrated into our critical infrastructure. And emergency responders have a unified platform to protect people and critical infrastructure and to act fast to allocate resources where they're needed most. At WSP, we've developed tools that blend planning smarts, climate know-how, and strong digital technologies. We're also on the ground with SaskTel, boosting telecom infrastructure and network reach so communities stay connected. Our toolbox includes risk-based asset management, advanced digital tools, and advanced tools for housing permitting as well. We also have platforms tailored to address prairie weather conditions. One of our tools is our National Integrated Emergency Management System, or NEAMS as we like to call it. It provides emergency leaders with a unified real-time view across all jurisdictions, built on a secure AI-enabled platform. NEAMS integrates thousands of environmental and infrastructure data sets, applying AI and machine learning to predict future events. Decisions that once took days can now be made in minutes, allowing responders to anticipate, safeguard, and coordinate more effectively in emergency situations. We also have an AI-driven permitting tool. This was developed because we understand that Canadian cities are facing an urgent need for more affordable housing. But lengthy permitting and approval delays often make building difficult and expensive. WSP's self-serve permitting system, first developed for the city of Kelowna and now available nationwide, removes that gap between data and citizens. With an AI chatbot and real-time compliance checking, applicants get instant guidance and quick approvals, helping communities deliver more homes faster and at a lower cost. Finally, at WSP, we provide an advanced weather intelligence service. With increasingly unpredictable and severe weather, the ability to accurately predict weather events is becoming more critical than ever. Governments need reliable, data-driven tools to protect people and infrastructure. Our advanced weather solution is a trusted Canadian solution that empowers citizens to manage weather risks confidently with 24/7 meteorologist support, automated alerts, dashboards, and custom climate reports. These features help leaders make quick, informed decisions, keep residents safe, improve operations, and manage assets efficiently during severe weather. Our goal is to ensure communities stay safe and resilient no matter what the weather brings. If you have any questions or you'd like to learn more, please don't hesitate to reach out and visit us. We're in booth 27, or fire off an email. We'll be happy to answer you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Martin and Cheryl. If we could all rise, please, for the departure of the Vice Regal Party. We do have a break now, and this is time to connect with your peers and some of the exhibitors in the municipal marketplace presented by Kinetic GPO. Now, please note that this break is generously sponsored by MPE. Information about all the exhibitors can be found under the trade show in the convention app. You can learn about those exhibitors and see exactly where their booths are on the floor. We would like to remind you that while in the trade show, be sure to get your Monday ballot in for the draw drum. Yes, there's 5 great prize packages to win. The draw will be done just before the resolution session, so ballots need to be in by 3 o'clock this afternoon for a chance to win. Now, we'd like to remind you all, as you take this break, to be back in the theater at 10:20, and that is when we're going to hear from SUMA President Randy Golden and the Premier of Saskatchewan. So please don't be late. We'll see you back here at 10:20. Thank you.